An upside of the election of Donald Trump in the United States recently is the way in which it has prompted at least some Australian politicians to question our relationship with Washington and to suggest that we need to carve out a more independent position in the world. Now, I think this is a great thing because when it comes to foreign and security policy in particular, there can be no doubt that we've been too close to the US. Too often we've just done what they've asked us to do. Clearly it's way beyond time for us to carve out a more independent place in the world. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't cooperate on security with the United States. Of course we should from time to time, but we shouldn't do so blindly. And there's no better example of us getting into trouble by following the US blindly than in the Middle East and South Asia. We should not have joined in the invasion of Iraq in 2003. We should not be remaining in Iraq and bombing Syria to this very day. We shouldn't have a continuing war-fighting involvement in Afghanistan. And I don't care what Australian governments say about us being there to help those people, because that's misleading. The fact is, the only reason we have an ongoing involvement in Afghanistan and Iraq and Syria is because of our relationship with the US and because Australian governments think we should do whatever they ask us to do and hang the consequences. It's quite bizarre the way the Australian government has seemingly overnight gone from calling Donald Trump a dropkick to now sucking up to him. There are worrying signs that the government at least won't seize this opportunity to distance ourselves from Washington. That will let the country down. The fact is, we will have more influence in the United States, more influence in Washington, if we're not taken for granted. Because let's face it, the US needs our land mass in this part of Asia as much as we need their cooperation on some security issues. They're not going to walk away from us, but I tell you what, they'll pay more attention to us if they know that we can't be taken for granted in the future. Now, I often wrap up my monthly newsreel with a call to action, and I'm going to do the same again today, because politicians do pay attention to public opinion. They can be persuaded, they will follow the votes. So please, if you share my views, if you do think that Australia should have a more independent foreign and security policy, then write a letter to the editor and say as much. Ring up Talkback Radio and say as much. Meet with a politician and express your concerns. And not just the politicians who are friendly and might agree with you. Go that extra yard and meet with the politicians who might not agree with you and try and persuade them of your position. We can all, working together, make a difference.